Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Okay, so we are reading from Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Vaishniki.
Okay, so we will read from Canto 9 of Srimad Bhagavatam, this very famous shloka on Maharaj Ambarish's devotional service, how he performed devotional service. This is Canto 9, Chapter 4, Ambarish Maharaj offended by Durvasa Muni, and shloka number 18 to 20. Savai manah Krishna padara vindayor vacham shivaikuntha gunanu varnane karo harer mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakarachyuta satkathodaye mukunda lingalaya darshane drisho tadpratyagatra sparashanga sangamam granam tatatpada saroja saurabe srimat tulasya rasanam tadarpite पादौ हरे क्षेत्र पदानुसर्पणे शिरो ऋषिकेश पदाभिवन्दने कामं च दाशे न तु कामकाम्यया यतोत्तमश्लोकजनाश्रया रतिः. So, this translation, Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna, his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temple and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his senses, a sense of touch, in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of Tulsi offered to the Lord, and he engaged his tongue in tasting Lord's prasad. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. Purport: in Bhagavad Gita 7.1, the Lord recommends Maya Ashakta Manah Partha Yoham Yunjan Madashrayah. This indicates that one must execute devotional service under the guidance of a devotee or directly under the guidance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is not possible, however, to train oneself without guidance from the spiritual master. Therefore, according to the instructions of Srila Rupa Goswami, the first business of a devotee is to accept a bona fide spiritual master who can train him to engage his various senses in rendering transcendental service to the Lord. The Lord also says in Bhagavad Gita, Asamshayam samagram mam yata jnashashi tat shrunu. In other words, if one wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in completeness, one must follow the prescription given by Krishna by following in the footsteps of Maharaj Ambarish. It is said, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Bhakti means to engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses, that is Krishna, who is called Rishikesha or Achyuta. These words are used in these verses. Achyuta Sat Kathodaye, Rishikesha Padabhivandane. The words Achyuta and Rishikesha are also used in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is Krishna Katha, spoken directly by Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is also Krishna Katha, because everything described in Bhagavatam is in relationship with Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasa Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So now let's see this very, very important topic of sadhana and how practically we in ISKCON are able to execute this sadhana, and specifically the sadhana practice that we will be doing here in our place. So these are the things that we are going to see in a systematic way. So I will also post what I'm going to speak in our group. So in that way, the reference also will be there. I'm going to give a little background before I speak this one. So the first thing is that, who are we and what is our relationship with Krishna? So we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And part and parcel, I am part and parcel means the part and parcel should have a role, Like for example, my hand is part and parcel of my body. So the hand's job is, the hand is present as a servant in this body, not as the master in the body. So now if I want to do something, my hand cooperates, So now here also we see that we are part and parcel of Krishna in the capacity of servant, and Krishna is the master. And it's very important that this relationship to get life, there should be some service, so that what are the three things we tell? Seva, savior, and sevit.
Bhagavan, Bhakta, and
Bhagavan, Bhakta and Bhakti. Bhagavan, Bhakta and Bhakti. So these three things are very essential. So now, we in this material world are still related to Krishna. We are doing Krishna's work only. So, but we are doing Krishna's work unwillingly, so through the agency of material energy. So whether willingly or unwillingly, we have to only serve Krishna. There is no other way. So just like Prabhupada gives this example of you willingly obey the order of government, you stay as a civilian. Otherwise, you'll put into the jail and you'll be forcibly made to obey the order of the government. So every condition you have to follow the order of the government. So that is this one. So in the same way, here also we see that we are now caught up in the material nature. So we are doing activities which are directed by material modes of nature, which is nothing but energy of Krishna. So ultimately we are following Krishna's this one only, and then if we want to follow Krishna in a positive way, in a proper way, so then we should render devotional service to the Lord, that bhakti. So our relationship between the Lord, relationship between Bhagwan and Bhakta is bhakti. So bhakti has to be performed. So this bhakti devotional service is, what is this devotional service is all about? So this devotional service, whenever we talk about devotional service, we tell Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam. So all those things now with the bhakti is there. So that is the devotional service. This devotional service is there. Can I perform this devotional service just like that? No, Shravanam Kirtanam to like it's I can do it. So what is the need of the spiritual master in the whole equation? So we should understand the Shravanam Kirtanam, it's all the subject matter of the Supreme Lord, and Supreme Lord cannot be accessed by our will. He is he is accessible only by his will and not by our will. So we have to please him, or the Lord has to enable, or Lord has to allow me to access that. Otherwise, I'm not going to access it. So there are many cases, like last few days we were discussing this particular example, how Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, when he was going to meet Lord Chaitanya, so one Ram Bhakta, he came. He was constantly chanting the names of Lord Ram, and his tongue was not at all resting. He was constantly chanting the names of Lord Ram, and he came and he offered to help Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, that I can carry your luggage and things like that. So then Raghunath Bhatta Goswami saw like, hey, this is a Vaishnav, so okay, fine. So he also took help, and then he proceeded. And when they reached the place of Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu admitted only Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and he rejected this person. And Raghunath Bhatta Goswami is telling, no, Mahaprabhu, he is a devotee, he is constantly chanting the names of Lord. Mahaprabhu told, no, he is thinking that he wants to become, become the Lord. So, he is a Mayavadi. He may be chanting, but he is a Mayavadi. So this may actually put a big question into our this one. All this while we have been telling that only if we perform the bhajan without offense, so then we will be able to access the Lord. And if we are not able to access the Lord, experience the Lord, so then we will not be able to chant continuously. Kirtanaya Sadahari is not possible. All these things we have been telling. And now here a person is Kirtanaya Sadahari and he is offensive. It's like contradictory. How it's possible? So this is possible because there are, if you see, there is gold is there, like golden bangle is there. So there can be imitation gold also, like one gold is there, and one trademark, like if a mobile of particular configuration is there, like maybe Apple is releasing same configuration, so many other duplicate wala also will be releasing, right? So that will also work. It is not that it will not work. That will also work. So the thing is, it's very important to understand there is a lot of shadow stuff also is there. Lot of shadow stuff is also there. So it is not that like the holy name, the sound vibration, how it appears to us, like that itself is the transcendental holy name. No, the transcendental holy name is much more than that. So now if you see, Krishna was visible to so many people when he was there in the material world. So but we know that shloka which analyzes the rasa, so like for different people Krishna was looking differently. So the holy name, not necessarily that if I am chanting, not necessarily that I am able to understand the holy name in the pure form. So it can be like external also. The holy name can be very external also. Like it can have the imitation of the holy name also can be there. So in that way, we see that this like holy name in its pure form, which can award us prema, cannot be accessed by force. Krishna has to agree. Otherwise, like we cannot access it by force. So for this, it is very essential that we go and surrender to a spiritual master in the parampara. So that is very essential. So Krishna has very clearly made, what is that? Evam parampara praptam imam raja rishya viduhu sakalene mahta yogo nashta parantapa. So this knowledge, this is actually comes in the fourth chapter, right? So fourth chapter is called Transcendental Knowledge. So now we see that like the progression of Bhagavad Gita also, like it comes, third chapter, it ends with this one, Atakena Prayuktoyam and stuff like that. And it talks about, we have many times discussed about this subject, so that material nature in the form of lust, it actually sits, it actually covers the knowledge of the intelligent person, jnanam avrita dehina. So like this covering of knowledge, what it happens is, so the real soul is Sat Chit and Ananda. It has all knowledge. Knowledge means it understands the Supreme Lord either in the form of Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan. So this knowledge is covered by the material nature, in the form of lust. So on this lust, where does it sit? Senses, mind and intelligence. This is where it sits and operates. And for that, what is necessary? Krishna is mentioning, an intelligent person should regulate the senses, mind and intelligence, No, so that he can uncover, he can actually break this enemy, eternal enemy of the living entity, and then he can awaken the knowledge. No, like swayam eva spuratyada. This knowledge is not something which is learned from external, no, something which is put from external source. This knowledge has to be uncovered. No, our job is to remove, like Shranvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Vidayantastohi Vidunoti. No, our job is to cleanse. No, when the cleansing process happens, then we are able to uncover the knowledge. So even this cleansing process, what is the thing that is going to give us cleansing process? What is the thing that is going to clean the whole thing? No, the Navavida Bhakti, right? So this Navavida Bhakti, is it a cleaning agent, or is it an agent which is going to give me pleasure, or it is the goal? No, what is it? So it is everything. This Navavida Bhakti, whatever is there, it is non-different from Krishna. No, the holy name or the glories of Krishna is non-different from Krishna. Remembrance of the lotus feet is non-different from Krishna. Everything of this is non-different from Krishna. And Krishna is the one, we are using him as soap to cleanse. And Krishna is the one who is going to enliven us. And Krishna is the one who is the goal of our life, no, to whom we are going to serve. So everything is Krishna only in this whole equation, right? This is one thing that we have to understand. And that means even for cleansing, no, we have to use Krishna. And this Krishna cannot be accessed by us just like that. No, we cannot access, okay, like, no, I have to get clean. Take a soap mila, like no, स्नान कर लो अच्छे से. तो ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. No, नलाना वाला चाहिए हमको. No, it is not possible that I can access this one. I need to have a spiritual master. So somebody may say, "Arey, you cannot do." So now you just put the problem on another person. So like, if you cannot do, how this guy can do? No, this person can do because he is very dear to Krishna. He is a confidential servant of Krishna, and he has access to Krishna. And if he wants, he can give Krishna. No, all these elements are there. So that is why the spiritual master is very essential. So he can actually award, he can actually give Krishna to others, and no, like through that process, the cleansing actually starts. And slowly, the senses become enlivened, and slowly, the living entity works in the fashion of real fashion of being a servant of the Lord. No, initially he serves, but it is actually no service is getting done, no real service is getting done. No, just like I always used to give this example. In fact, it's a Prabhupada example only. I think it is there in NOD introduction. I don't know whether it is there in the exact form as I mentioned. So it is some form it is there. So it's like a small child trying to walk. No, so small child trying to walk, it's pleasing to the parents. So wo kabhi like no chalta kabhi girta hai, and it is pleasing to the parents. So what is the essential work done? Did he bring any object from one place to another? No. Essential work done means like something has to move from point A to point B, something like that. Any essential work done? No, kuch nahi hai. So, but what is this one? No, it is like it gives pleasure because the child is learning to walk, and it is giving pleasure. So, but if same thing he is doing after growing up also, like parents will not be happy. He has to literally do some work, then only they'll be happy. So initially this is okay, no? So in the same way, like initially what is happening in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, our sadhana, what we are doing is not actually giving any tangible service to Krishna. No, it is only like Krishna is pleased because this guy is finally he is trying to purify. Kabhi na kabhi to seva karega. So finally he is trying to purify. So that is offering some pleasure to Krishna, right? So this is very essential. So when Krishna is pleased, when the spiritual master is pleased, so that is when this purification actually happens, and that is when we will advance in Krishna consciousness. So now, okay. So next point comes is, okay, your spiritual master, where is your spiritual master? No, where is he? Like, no, like he's sitting next to you. Is he guiding you, and is he like taking care of you and things like that? So that is one thing. Another aspect is the instruction itself. Like in the instruction itself, how this instruction, like what instruction the spiritual master gives, that is also very important. So now if you see in the shloka of definition of bhakti, that anya abhilashita shunya jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Anushilanam, this word anu means to follow in the parampara. So, like no spiritual master can come and say that, no, I have invented something new and it may not tally with the scriptures, but you should believe. that is not possible. So like that he cannot say. So immediately he becomes a rascal. So it is very essential that Anushilanam, no, that is why it is very essential that we study the scriptures so that we may not be cheated. No, so that like we see that whatever the previous acharyas have told, whatever the previous examples have been said, it will have to be in line, with that principles. So that is very essential. So the scripture, study of scripture is very essential. And then like following the spiritual master is also very essential. So when we do these things parallelly, so then we understand like how like Guru Sadhu Shastra is actually working. And it is very much necessary if we are not able to understand. No, spiritual master is giving certain instruction, which is which to my limited knowledge I am not able to comprehend based on like sadhu and shastra. So then I have to ask the spiritual master, saying like, no, you are telling something that I am not able to comprehend how it is matching. So then it is spiritual master's job to clarify that. Even the supreme spiritual master Krishna patiently clarifies this. Arjuna asked so many times, like Krishna, like you are telling so many things, I'm not able to understand. Okay, wait. I'll teach you. And after teaching everything, Arjuna is telling, okay, fine, now I think it's okay. So then Krishna says, no. If you have doubt, again you ask me. I'll tell you the whole thing again. So if Krishna would have told, I am the Supreme Lord, how dare you ask a question to me? I am telling, just follow. So it's like even the Supreme Spiritual Master doesn't tell that. He patiently explains whatever doubts are there, because these doubts are like, the spiritual master's job is to clarify the doubts so that the disciple can fearlessly and with clarity prosecute Krishna consciousness, right? So that is a very essential thing. So otherwise, if doubts are there, so then I may follow externally, just like all our most of our congregation children, they are forced upon, saying that no, you have to do bhakti. Oh, conviction nahi hai uska. No conviction. And the moment they get an opportunity, they break everything. So like all the rules and regulations, all the principles they break because conviction nahi hai. It is very important that we have to work on the conviction. We have to work on the natural desire of the living entity to serve Krishna. So that has to be awakened, right? So that is very, very essential. So then like the next point comes is, okay, the spiritual master is giving an instruction, and like spiritual master is also bona fide because he is coming in the parampara, and he is also speaking the very same thing which the previous acharyas have spoken, and very same thing which is in line with the scriptures. So with all these things, I can understand, okay, he is a bona fide spiritual master and I can take instruction. So now the next thing comes is like one has to be trained under a bona fide spiritual master, right? So one who can train him and engage him in various services and things like that. So now who is spiritual master? That is also we should understand. So spiritual master means not just he himself. Spiritual master in traditionally also we see that he used to like put this one, like he would have a senior disciple who would train the junior disciple. So that is perfectly okay. So is it that the senior disciple who is training, is it that he becomes the spiritual master? No, he is just a trainee. No, spiritual master is giving direction and he is accordingly engaging the junior disciple. No, so he is just a trainee, but he gets the effect. The junior disciple is getting the effect of being trained under the spiritual master. So now we have the spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, and how he is able to train. He has set up such a wonderful system. He created an organization, and he told that this organization is not different from me. And then he created various divisions like temples, temple presidents, and various ways of serving and things like that. So once one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, like, I am just there in this temple and my job is to clean this one, my seva is to clean the place here. And like, I am very eager to serve you and please you. So then Srila Prabhupada told, see, this whole organization belongs to me, and all these temples belongs to me. And it is my responsibility to keep this place clean. And you are doing that. So like, you are doing my service, So he gave a clarity, how that person is actually engaged in service of Srila Prabhupada. He actually gave a clarity. And then like he set it up the whole system. So now when we are functioning within the system, and if the instructions, if every service that has been created here is based on the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, based on the instructions of Parampara, so then that means it is having the sanction of Srila Prabhupada, and we are working within the system that is given by Srila Prabhupada. What he called as his body, or what he called as his organization. We are working within that organization. So then we can be very sure of that we are serving Srila Prabhupada and pleasing Srila Prabhupada. No, that is a very, very essential thing, right? So, and this now also he is telling that the principle is telling that the first business of a devotee is to accept a bona fide spiritual master who can train him to engage his various senses in rendering service to the Lord. That he is telling. Then after that we see the Lord also says, Asamshayam samagram mam yata tatshunu. In other words, if one wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in completeness, one must follow the prescriptions given by Krishna by following in the footsteps of Maharaj Ambarish. So how does this statement looks like? The previous statement that, again I'll read the previous statement. So like one who is interested, his first business is to find a spiritual master. So that is there. So that is a principle. We have to find a spiritual master. And here, Prabhupada, what he is telling, one must follow the prescriptions given by Krishna. Now he is giving, it's almost like order, right? So he told you should find a spiritual master who will engage you properly, and here he is giving an order, you should do like this. Here is a spiritual master who is actually instructing us, right? So okay, so now one may say, okay, fine, how do I know that I am following Srila Prabhupada? How do I know if I'm doing wrong or right and things like that? So Srila Prabhupada has set up the whole system, whole system of there is a practice the senior devotees, sannyasis, and all of them are there, and they give us the direction. You do like this, you do like this. Carefully they instruct and things like that. And also this concept of the spiritual master has to be there, just like a mother who gave birth to a small child, every time feeding. So that is also not a very right understanding of the, this one. So Srila Prabhupada's case itself, we see that, how he got initiated and things like that, how he served. So if that is a bogus, this one, so then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also was following bogus, and Prabhupada was also bogus, everything was bogus, So they got the instruction and they were sincere enough to follow. And it is, see, spiritual life is voluntary. Spiritual life is voluntary, instruction is given and the mood and mission is given. If you follow, you will go back to Godhead. Otherwise, you fall back. That is there. And if you want to, properly proceed, so then we need to have the association of devotees who are sincerely practicing, that Krishna consciousness. So one may get the, instruction from the spiritual master, but then he follows in the association of the other devotees, who are also sincerely trying to follow. So in that way, these things happen. So with all this background, so we will try to understand whatever is we have shared. So now, Srila Prabhupada is giving many essential, wonderful aspects. First thing is the morning program. So one thing that we have to understand is Prabhupada has given sufficient rules and regulations, sufficient powerful entities to us to practice as a sadhana. So we see that morning from 4:30 onwards. So morning 4:30 onwards till what is the time now? 9:30. Imagine 9:30. So 5 hours of solid sadhana program is there. And in this time, okay, maybe we take off some 45 minutes of this, or maybe 1 hour also. 4 hours of solid sadhana program is there. So in this we see that the systematic meditation on the lotus feet of the spiritual master, and glorification of the spiritual master and meditation on the spiritual master is there. And this morning program, all that prayer that we are offering, is towards Srila Prabhupada. Whenever this guru, this one comes, it is towards Srila Prabhupada. That's very essential to understand. So our own personal spiritual masters, we offer them worship. So when we are in our private area, so in the ISKCON temple, Prabhupada is a spiritual master. Prabhupada is a authority, right? So he is the spiritual master. And even while worship also, in ISKCON temple, we don't keep the spiritual master, our own spiritual master, in the altar. So we know, Srila Prabhupada is spiritual master here. He is the guru, or this place. So this is a very clear thing. So then, we meditate on Srila Prabhupada and his glories, and because he is the primary deliverer. So this also is very important. We see in the Sri Parampara. So there are so many wonderful acharyas have come all of them will say, like, no, Ramanuja is the deliverer. 1,000 years back, he came and went. So Prabhupada at least 50 years only, like, 1,000 years back he came and went. And still they say, like, no, he is our deliverer. And the way in which they describe Ramanujarya, the way in which they actually hold on to the instructions of Ramanujarya is like so amazing. Madhvacharya, Madhva Parampara is also same thing. Whatever Madhvacharya is told, like that is very, very powerful. After that, we have who are the powerful acharyas? Vadiraj Tirtha. Vadiraj Tirtha came, and then 2, 3 very powerful acharyas came. So, but still, they are very, very capable. They are like amazing. No, Vadiraj Tirtha is like very amazing. Like Lord would personally interact with and do pastimes and things like that. But still, Madhvacharya, there is no deviation. Everything. The Parampara Acharya means like everybody must follow, that personality. So that is the founder Acharya concept. So like that, everybody must worship him as the spiritual master, not a previous Acharya. He is not a previous Acharya for us. Srila Prabhupada is not a previous Acharya for us. He is his current spiritual master, for us. It is very, very essential. And if we say like, he is the only spiritual master, then we get into another form of Mayavad or Ritvikism, So, like, that is not the thing. Founder Acharya is a very special principle. Now, upon whose strength, the whole parampara actually functions. It is very, very essential point. So, in this way, like, the morning program that is given, the meditation on the, this one, spiritual master, and then the next thing what we sing? Narsimha prayer. Sometimes devotees say, hey, like this is all not Gaudiya Vaishnava, this one, and things like that. So it's like, where is Radha Krishna meditation? No, you should, why we are chanting Narsimha prayer and stuff like that. This is all over intelligence. All our acharyas who are liberated souls and who are residents of Vrindavan, not just Bhauma Vrindavan, even Goloka Vrindavan. So they have put this into practice. Every time, everywhere, like in some problem comes, they have always installed Narsinghadev in all the, like even in Vrindavan also, like we have Narsimha Tirthas. Like why is it so? We may not be able to understand the intricacies, but the liberated acharyas have done that. So we just have to follow it, and we just have to follow it with full conviction that this is proper program. So, and also next is Tulsi Prayer. That gives amazing conclusion on the goal of life, and really very powerful prayer actually. And then we have Sikshashtakam and offenses. So it's a very, very complete program. We have to perform devotional service and avoid offenses. So devotional service, offenses and Vaishnava etiquette. This has a very, very clear this one. Devotional service is nothing but Krishna. Krishna is initially working as a cleansing agent, and later on, he is enlivening our senses, and later on, he is our object of worship. He transforms into all these phases. So like he is the same, like we transform into all these phases actually. So that is Krishna himself, right? So even to cleanse, we need the permission of Krishna, we need the cooperation, means we need the grace of Krishna, and even to understand him, for everything we need the grace of Krishna. And in this process, if I offend Krishna or Krishna's dear entities, so then Krishna will retract himself. Cleansing will not happen. Your understanding of Krishna will not happen. Nothing will happen over there. And Vaishnava etiquette means what? How Krishna and Krishna's dear entities must be treated. That is Vaishnava etiquette. And offenses means how Krishna and Krishna's dear entities should not be treated. That is offenses. And Krishna is the essential aspect, who is purifying us. That is very, very essential. And why does Krishna come to me, a very fallen soul? Because spiritual master is there, he is recommending. He is telling that, okay, Krishna, please, you can deliver him. So in that way, Krishna is actually working. So then we chant the names of the Lord. So with prayers that, oh Lord, please reveal yourself unto me. So, and I have tried my best, to the best of my knowledge. I have tried to follow the etiquettes, I have tried to avoid the offenses, and I have tried to see that whatever is I am learning, I am trying to see, I am trying to check with the parampara, check with Guru Sadhu Shastra, and I am trying to do it in that way. So please be pleased upon me and reveal yourself unto me, right? So that is one thing. And another thing, okay, sadhana means what? This is also a very nice thing. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of fan. So the fan, if we switch off the fan, no, then it may take some time to stop, and then after that it will be completely stopped. So now what is this switch off? What is this fan? Like what is the revolvement of fan? Like this also we have to understand. So switch on means engagement in the modes of material nature, and switch off means stopping to engage in the modes of material nature. That means engagement in devotional service. And what is this rotation? Rotation is the mind's engagement, or like no, there is so much of material desires are coming, and like material consciousness is there and stuff like that, no turbulence and stuff like that. So this is because no, there is, we have galti se switch on kiye, no fan ko. So if we switch on the fan, so all these things will go on. And the moment the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord completely, so then the fan gets switched off, then over a period of time all the turbulence actually subsides. So now, okay, morning, like this much time we have invested fully on the sadhana, that is like fully on focusing on the spiritual master and the goal, and then the Narsinghadev, and avoiding offenses and like chanting and stuff like that, and honoring prasad. So that is also like very important seva. So now with all these things, now we see that like one portion of the day is covered. The rest of the portion of the day, what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to engage in the service, which is derived from the instructions and for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Guru Puja and Bhagavatam class. No, this is also like, again, the spiritual master I already covered. So one more aspect of spiritual master, we do exclusive Guru Puja, and then we discuss Krishna Katha from Srimad Bhagavatam. So and then like the goal is that whole day has to be our senses without any stoppage. It should be engaged in the service of the Lord. That is a very, very important thing. And one more very important thing is that Susukam Kartam Avyayam. Right? No, it has to be happily performed. So like these two things are there. Like an authority has these two responsibilities to see that all the people are always engaged in the service and all the people are always happily engaged in the service. The two things are very, very important. So how to make the service a fun that he'll not feel it a burden. Over a period of time he'll not feel it a burden. If it is a burden, if he is carrying, over a period of time he'll give it up. So one thing is, if the service is done properly, he will start getting taste, and once he starts getting taste, then he will get nice this one to continue. But we should always know that we are in the material atmosphere, so there is many times we may get caught up in the material nature. So still the service has to be interesting. It has to go on in a very nice way. So that is a very, very essential thing. So these two things like has to be taken care of. So throughout the day, like we render service, and also as this particular aspect, this Savaimana Krishna Padara Vindayor, and like this many other shlokas are there. Like Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam is there, and Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam is there. So these are all like very, very condensed form of mercy. Now what is devotional service is very nicely mentioned, and with example, with like with a Mahabhagavat, performing this thing, like Ambarish Maharaj. He is a king who ruling all over the world, and he is performing devotional service in this way, like meditating on the Krishna's lotus feet. He is doing it always. At least we should do it for some time. We should have the schedule of sadhana bhakti means schedule. So like how does sadhana bhakti like again goes into a different state. So when I am doing sadhana, I don't have any interest in engaging with Krishna, because I'm not able to access Krishna. I'm not able to get any taste in the whole process. So but I'm scheduling, I'm associating. When I'm associating, purification is happening, and slowly I'm able to realize Krishna. And when I'm able to realize Krishna, I'm able to taste Krishna, right? Like the taste actually comes. So when taste comes, then like sadhana turns into slowly spontaneous thing. So like that it actually turns. So now then we see that all the senses are engaged in the service. Mind is engaged on the meditation on the this one. Oh Krishna, hey Krishna, I have to cut this call. Okay. So mind is engaged in the meditation on the Lord, and intelligence is engaged on the missionary work, right? Not just missionary work, even this also, time to time we have to position ourselves, right? So am I doing the right thing? Like according to the scriptures, according to this one, like am I in the whole thing, whatever I'm doing, he is my spiritual master, and no, like Lord Chaitanya and Krishna is going to be pleased. So if they're not going to be pleased, no, my purification is not going to happen, my advancement is not going to happen, and Krishna Prem I will not be able to attain. So like it is this one. So like I'm going in a particular path, I have to do certain things, do certain checks to convince myself that this path is right. The path that I'm traversing is right. Somebody may come and say like, hey, no, what you're going, like, no, your goal will not be achieved by this path. You have to go in a different direction. Many times it has happened. Once we were going to Melkote, like we were going up and down and up and down, and somebody is telling this side, somebody is telling that side, and for almost 1.5 hours we are just going around in the same place. Nobody is able to tell what is the right path. So in that way, in that scenario, we'll become very, very jittery and very disturbed. So I'm going in a path and I don't know like whether I'll reach the goal. So it is very essential to like redefine every time. My goal is this, and this is the way to attain, and I'm perfectly in that path. I'm progressing in that path. So that needs to be like time and again it has to be reiterated, and it has to be like that Srila Prabhupada does. If we just read Srila Prabhupada's purports, he's again and again redefining the goal, redefining the path, and giving us assurance, yeah, you're in the right path. Please continue. You'll be able to achieve. So these aspects are essential aspects of sadhana. And then so this sadhana, as we know, like this is we are in the material world with material consciousness, and we want to deal with spiritual things. Initially it is going to be difficult, right? So what makes this whole thing very nice? So this relationship, what is a Sanskrit name for relationship? Okay, any other name? What is experienced in relationship? Rasa. Like, what is the means like colloquial meaning of the word rasa? Colloquial meaning, even in there also, like rasa means taste, right? Taste. So we see that relationship is the actual taste of the Krishna consciousness, right? So in fact, I was just below one point I had written. Okay, so when it comes, we'll see. So like, serving together, relationship, how we will get, if we work together, then only we will get relationship. Otherwise, we will not be able to get relationship. So we should have something common to perform. So this Maharaja told long back that, how to get, what all we should do in the ashram. But somehow due to some difficulties, we couldn't able to execute this thing. So now if even one person is not agreeing for this, like, and then if we try to work together, it will clearly make a group. Okay, these are all one group, and this person is like, is a different. So then it becomes, once the group forms, then it becomes very, very difficult. So that is why, like, we didn't execute this particular thing since long time, that everybody should be agreeable, everybody should come together and render service together. So it is very essential, like either we do cleaning service together, or sit together and do some bhajan kirtan, or like all the ashram devotees, like go out for book distribution. So it is not that how many books are going. We are not going for book distribution. We are going for being together. It is very essential. We are just going for being together, right? So like that. So all of us doing the same thing, same work. So this we can see that prachatas, right? So when Krishna comes, like he is telling that all of you are together doing one activity. They are staying underneath the water for 10,000 years. No appreciation for that. Not even one word spoken about that. And so and Krishna is telling all of you are staying together and doing one work. No, that is more difficult than staying underwater for 10,000 years. That is more difficult than chanting 64 rounds, 108 rounds. It's like staying together and doing one activity. And we can see, that Krishna is pleased, and Krishna has personally come to bless that group of devotees, right? So it is very essential that sometimes our 64 rounds, 108 rounds may not save us, but being together and serving together, that will attract the Lord like anything. There's a very solid proof in Bhagavatam is there. And then the 6 exchanges, that is very, very essential. Dadati pradignati guhyam akyati prachati bhungte bhojayate chaiva no, Sadvida Priti Lakshana. So this also is very essential that we see that like in ashram also we have like somebody who has come early and somebody who's like senior and things like that, and somebody who's like new. So like a senior cannot go and open up his heart to junior. No, that's not the proper etiquette actually. No, that should not be done. So junior should reveal and senior should hear in confidence. Hear in confidence means he should not leak out whatever he's hearing, So that is hearing in confidence, no. So then that becomes Preeti Lakshana. So then I had mentioned it is not a waste of time. In fact, devotees only can save us in danger, not sadhana. We have seen this clearly. No, all that sadhana that we have performed, that has not revealed us. But one devotee sitting and hammering us, no, you're doing wrong. So that is a very clear thing, no. So we invested on that devotee, and that devotee only saved us, right? So if we would have cared for sadhana, like instead of spending time with that devotee, I could have done like another 16 rounds, another 32 rounds. That 32 rounds, 16 rounds would have not saved me, But this devotee came to save me. It is very, very essential. So spending time with devotee is not a waste of time. It is in fact it is an investment, and it is actually the rasa. It is actually the taste that is going to drive me, to this one, drive me in the process of Krishna consciousness, right? And then we should have open heart discussions. Like it is not this is not the point which is there in the 6 exchanges. That is Guhya Makyati Prachati. That is not the thing. So open heart discussions means like whenever I'm discussing, I'm not having any fear. I am speaking something. Will it be misinterpreted? Will it be taken in a different sense, or whether he will like it or not, and things like that. So these reservations should not be there amongst the devotees who are staying together. So even if I tell something wrong, what is the problem? He will understand. He knows me so nicely. Like I don't have any fear in uttering like even if I tell something in a different way, even if by like not by mistake, deliberately I told something mistake only. Deliberately I wanted to hurt the other person. Still the whole environment should be in such a way, okay, like you can speak any nonsense, not a problem. Still like this is your family, nothing will be taken wrong. So that is very, very important. That non-challenging environment and non-exploitative environment where I am free to speak whatever I want to speak, and devotees will understand. So that is a very, very essential thing. So that is when the whole relationship actually come. And then eagerness to serve other devotees even at the cost of the sacrifice of sadhana. So this may appear to be little, bonzer. How can I sacrifice my sadhana and serve other devotee? Then over a period of time it will become like I am sacrificing sadhana. Like kitna round kiya? 0. Prabhu, I sacrificed all my sadhana to serve devotees. So that not like that. Sadhana has to be performed. Like come what may, like even night 12 o'clock also we have to finish our basic minimum rounds, then only we'll sleep. So it's not like that. But prime time, like we are doing something and a devotee is struggling with something, we should try to go and do some help. Even if he is not struggling, even if he is comfortably doing also, it's an opportunity to work with him. Let me just go and sit with him and serve. And even if I'm not able to do that, at least from the heart, we should feel that I should be doing this. I should be sitting with him and doing this service. Like I should be like going and cleaning something or making some parcels or something like that. So I should be doing it, but I have another this one. So at least feeling from the heart, I should do something like this. So in this way, like when we see that, when we do all these things, and actually speaking, so when we serve another devotee, who is also like properly situated and properly doing sadhana and things like that, and when we sacrifice our sadhana and do something, Krishna will not let it go like that. He will give amazing amount of time in terms of performing sadhana, and he'll also like that relationship that we are making. That will also become very, very strong. And actually, like a relationship that is happening with all set and no sacrifices done, that relationship will not be strong. Actually, a relationship will be strong when the sacrifices are taken. That is when the relationship will become strong. So in that way, like there is no question of missing sadhana, but it is only that prime time sadhana or something like that, or at this point in time I'm chanting. It could be done like little later also, but there is an opportunity to serve a devotee, so I can do. So luckily, like, for in our center, we don't have any surprise services like that in the morning program. Morning program, nobody like comes and disturbs us saying that, no, Prabhu, you have to do this, do that. Sometimes market based, that's okay. Like, that's essential, right? So, no, otherwise, like, we don't have that kind of problem. So morning program very solid is there, and even otherwise, like, we have ample time is there to do our this one. So in that way, we should see that this relationship and the sadhana, so both has to be like very, very solid. So if this thing is there, so then we will happily progress in Krishna consciousness, right? And because it is Srila Prabhupada's organization, and we're following Srila Prabhupada's instructions. And so then, okay, where does my spiritual master come into the picture? In this whole thing. Okay, like, it's all Prabhupada's mission, Prabhupada's instruction. Like, where does my spiritual master come into picture? Now, my spiritual master is a servant of Srila Prabhupada, and like, he will like, if I serve properly situated in some, like, some branch of Srila Prabhupada's body, and if I am serving happily, so my spiritual master will be very, very happy. This I have seen many times personally, like my spiritual master Gopal Krishna Maharaj, like, different Maharajas, like, I've seen that they actually make sure, because I have been in that circle of temple presidents, and also, like, sometimes when I go with Prabhuji and then meet some Maharaj, so they say, like, no, my disciple is there in your temple. How is he doing? Is he doing well? Is he rendering service nicely, and is he properly situated? So like that, they ask. So they, like, in IDC, one question actually comes, one concept actually comes. So what is the benefit of being in ISKCON? So if there is a spiritual master who's there, who's having a mutt somewhere, and then he's actually giving some initiations, and for him to engage a disciple who's far away, what is the mechanism is there? It's very difficult. Like, he has to get some service, and, like, either unka preaching program nahi hai, like, there are not many people. So it's very difficult to engage a person in a faraway place. So in ISKCON, what is there? Like, spiritual master is initiating, and, like, he's taking the promise that you will assist me in executing the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. So, and then he places him properly in this one. And that is why we see that before initiation, there is a recommendation letter that is there, and the temple president has to sign. So it is a transaction between spiritual master and disciple. Why temple president comes in between? Because spiritual master actually puts, like, this faith that this person will engage him in proper service. So, and that is why, like, that this one is there. And, like, a proper arrangement has to be given so that their proper engagement in the service is given, and their proper sadhana, like, if they can perform. So that much is there. So then the spiritual master is happy. So like that. So that is the that is the way, like, the ISKCON actually functions. And apart from that, the spiritual master also gives so much of inspiration, and like, he can help the disciple in many ways. And this like, spiritual master means it is not just the spiritual master, his representatives, and so many other, like, devotees who are helping. So they are also representatives of spiritual master. In that way, like, we should see the hand of spiritual master in like, many ways, right? So Srila Prabhupada saw the hand of spiritual master in a tea shop wala, So, like, he saw the hand of spiritual master in like, when some ordinary people also would able to come and instruct and or tell some suggestions and things like that. So because he followed the instructions of spiritual master very nicely, so that is why he could able to see the hand of spiritual master in so many different places. So we are also expected to hear the lectures of Srila Prabhupada and study the books of Srila Prabhupada, and when we aspire from a particular spiritual master, to hear from him also. So when we do this thing, and these are our primary entities. So that is why even while chanting or even while performing any devotional service, so we should always take the names, pranam mantras of our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, then Panchatattva and Hare Krishna. So this is the way, like, these are our primary shelters. And after that, this also, like, our altar. So whomever personalities whom we have placed by the accordance of the parampara, so, like, all of them are available for us to guide. So that is why we are worshipping them. So when the worship comes, like, it is almost like we are offering worship to them. Like, why we are worshipping these personalities? So worship comes when I receive something. It is not like a ritual, like, no, inko Kali Puja karne ka ritual hai. It's not like that. We worship them because we are receiving something from them. No, it is not like, otherwise there is no point of worship actually. So, and they are in the, like, one is that they have purely handed over the, pure holy name. Now down in the parampara, they have chanted purely and they have, handed over the pure name. So that is coming down. And also, like, they are merciful personalities. They can act, the spiritual master can act. No, even he is not in the proximity, even if he is not there in this planet, no, still he can act. No, that is the power of the spiritual science actually. So with this, I just try to give this basic aspects. So with this, I just pause here. Any comments or questions you can take? Any devil's advocate is also okay. Devil's advocate is also okay. Means, like, it may not be your own doubt, but it is something that has been spoken about somewhere, and we can ask those questions also.
This so regarding Prabhupada's organization, so it is misinterpreted as so principles of Srila Prabhupada, if it is followed properly, then that itself is the organization of Srila Prabhupada. So how do we defend this?
So principles of Srila Prabhupada has many, very nicely he has mentioned in IDC, one passage is there. So Prabhupada's quote, like, wherein a person is telling that, no, I will do all that you're telling me to do, but I cannot work with these people. No, these people are like full of this person has this problem, that person has this problem. So then Prabhupada clearly says, no, my instruction is to, like, stay in the organization and serve. And if you don't want to follow this, so that means, no, you are like disobeying my instruction, and that means it's a guru aparad, and then that means, like, it is like he gives a sequence, like we will read out that passage sometime. So in that way, like, instruction of Srila Prabhupada is to stay. So then, no, how can I say that, no, I can only follow the principles and I don't need to follow the instruction, like that. Hare Krishna. So all the instruction must be followed, like that. And especially these are certain instructions wherein Srila Prabhupada saw that when his disciples were brought to India, and so many people were ready to capture them and take them off, and Prabhupada had to heavily criticize, saying that, no, nothing doing, like, you just stay back here and things like that. So he has to heavily criticize all those things. And like during Prabhupada time, at least now the organization has matured a little bit. During Prabhupada time, it is all like neophyte people managing and messing up everywhere. And Prabhupada had to heavily say, like, no, even if it is a mess, you just stay there. He has to, like, literally put his cane down and, like, strong he had to be there. And he was sure that he had set up a system wherein the purificatory methodology is there, and he is sure that I am going to take these people back to Godhead. So otherwise Acharya would not tell like this. No, he did not have that much time to spend time with all his disciples, 5,000 disciples in 10 years, and opening up so many temples, like construction, management, book writing, publication, all these things, where he is able to give time to all his disciples, but he is confident that I'll take you back to Godhead. So that's like a very powerful thing. No, on what basis the Acharya was telling this? Is he cheating, or is he like telling the truth? No. So either one of these two things only will be there. So he is completely confident, I'm going to take you back to Godhead. You just do this much. No, he set up the morning program, he has set up the temple program, and he set up the services, like what all the choice of services. No, like we have prasadam distribution, book distribution of holy name, and like organizing, events, wherein these things are there, and initial Sukruti is there, then cultivation program, how to cultivate, and these are the aspects that we need to cultivate upon and bring a devotee up to. So all these things are very clear. He clarified the purposes, he clarified the goal, and he clarified the process. Everything he has clarified, and he has told with confidence that, no, if you do this, I'm going to take you back to Godhead. So that much of confidence Srila Prabhupada has given. So that we should not doubt, that aspect. So following only principles is not sufficient. Like following the instructions is also very important. And then somebody may say, okay, Prabhupada told so many things, like, no, not everybody is following that. Okay, not everybody is following that, no, at least I should follow. So, so if somebody is not following that, okay, fine, no, till that point he is following, no, he's what is that, his allegiance to Prabhupada is good, he's not following certain things, like that is his kami. So, if he is not following, so why you are inspired not to follow? So that is not a very proper this one, right? And another aspect of this is there are certain instructions are like contextual and certain instructions are absolute. So this instruction falls under the category of absolute. Stay within ISKCON. That is an absolute this one. So that is not a contextual this one. Like koi reh sakta hai. So like that absolute instruction. Only very rare case, I think, like Yamuna Mataji or some disciples of Srila Prabhupada, where he gave one instances, like there is no second instance, I feel. One instance, okay, no, you stay away and you can practice, it's okay, like that. So very, very, very rare, that is very rare. So I suppose there is no other reference other than this one instance. It's an exception that Prabhupada himself made at a certain point, but not generic, this one. So there is an instance, maybe when we meet Adidepu, we'll be able to we'll discuss that. So that, yeah, so this particular.
So she decided to live separate from husband. Husband was encouraged to take sannyas before she had said that married life now. The Prabhupada made an official statement that she has voluntarily taken up this life without husband. I have not told her, but she is staying. I have asked her to do deity worship and do it in a very humble way without becoming much big.
Okay, so yeah.
And I am encouraging her husband to take sannyas.
Okay, yeah. So there also some little not conformance to the no.
She has voluntarily taken up. I didn't ask.
So like that. So okay, anyway you are going out, so I'll give you little bit of authorization. Do something bona fide, like that. So it is not that completely pleasing nor completely in accordance with Srila Prabhupada's this one. So like that.
I want to read something from. So regarding staying in the association of devotees and following Krishna conscious principles as set up by Prabhupada. So in the Dhruv Maharaj statement, the necessity for association along with following the principles of spiritual master is highlighted. It is being said, transcendental devotional service cannot be complete and cannot be relishable without the association of devotees. We have therefore established International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Anyone who is trying to be aloof from this International Society of Krishna Consciousness and yet engage in Krishna consciousness is living in great hallucination, because this is not possible. From this statement of Dhruv Maharaj, it is clear that unless one is associated with devotees, his devotional service is not mature. It does not become distinct from material activities. The Lord says, Satam prasangan mama viri samvido bhavanti ritkarana rasayana kathaha. Only in the association of pure devotees can the words of Lord Krishna be fully potent and relishable to the heart. Dhruv Maharaj explicitly wanted the association of devotees. That association in devotional activities is just like the waves of incessantly flowing river. In our Krishna consciousness, in our International Krishna Consciousness Society, we have full engagement 24 hours a day. Every moment of our life is always busily engaged in the service of the Lord. This is called incessant flow of devotional service. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.9.11 purport. So the point which I am appreciating in this purport is Prabhupada has 3 times mentioned the word International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And he has clearly said that if somebody is trying to do devotional service outside the society, he is in hallucination, because this is not possible. Because in order to make the devotional service more relishable, only the society has been made. And if someone wants incessant flow of devotional service, which is basically Prema Bhakti, they have to remain within this society and serve Srila Prabhupada. So there's no question of going out. and simply saying that I am simply following instructions, whether I'm in the four walls or outside the four walls, it doesn't matter. Because 3 times he has said International Society of Krishna Consciousness. This cannot be a. Prabhupada is very careful with his words. And he is using heavy words like hallucination. Thinking I'll go outside ISKCON and I'll do devotional service is hallucination. I just wanted to highlight this point.
So, one challenge that people offer to the statement is, it is mentioned that only in association of pure devotees, devotional service is relishable. And now I'm not able to see any pure devotee here. So this is one challenge that people offer. So no, है उसी में आप जिधर पढ़े थे, only in the association of pure devotees the topics of Krishna consciousness becomes relishable. That is there. So the main aspect is, if we become impatient for the result, then it will not work out. So Prabhupada knew all these things. It is not that when Prabhupada told these statements, International Society was filled with pure devotees. It's not like that. So, and still he called them pure devotees. Now that's a different definition altogether. So because they are following the instruction of a pure devotee, so they are also can be called as pure devotee. So, but they are not capable of that level. So there was so much of chaotic environment situation and all these things were there. But still Prabhupada was mentioning, you have to stay here. And we see 50 years down the line, how much of wonderful devotees have come up and how many great souls have even passed back to Godhead and things like that. So it is very, very nice. This whole setup is very nice. And we see that if somebody is very impatient, right now I want to bring about, right now isko saaf karna hai. The moment we go out, whole thing will become ganda there also. So it is not going to be like, I am going to clean up this whole thing and I am going to go out and set up a clean pond. Set up karne ke pehle wo ganda ho jayega. So that is the whole thing, because a powerful acharya has set up this. And in that, we are able to see ganda, chutku aadmi jaake, kuwa kodega, turant ganda pani bharega usme. So it is very, very, this one important. That Acharya has told, it is not because I am going to expertly set up the system in such a way that it will remain pure. No, it is by the power of the Acharya this organization is going on. By power of Krishna this organization is going on. So Prabhupada even also mentions, at this point in time, Krishna has incarnated as International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He mentions, so. The activities of ISKCON are being personally administered by Lord Chaitanya. So because of this, any amount of mess is there, still we are progressing. If this is not there, this our devotees used to say that Prabhu, the kind of management that we do, devotees, many of the temples, some temples are well organized, some temples are complete transcendental organization. And Prabhu, I'm not able to understand how this festival happened. He's scratching that. I'm not able to understand how this festival happened. No plan was there, no this one was there. And finally, you see, Kirtan was there, class was there, Prasadam was there, and everybody is glorifying. Arey, kya hua idhar? So, okay, everybody are messy. And, the organizers are having a lot of fights and things like that. But externally, people came. They had wonderful experience of Krishna consciousness. They went. And, everybody is scratching their head. How it all happened. So, if you cooperatively perform, you will also be happy. If you fight, at least you will fight. But everything is conducted by Krishna. People who are going to come, they are going to get Krishna conscious experience. You cannot stop because it's conducted by Krishna. So that's a very amazing aspect of this one, right? Very powerful aspect. This is not an encouragement for mismanagement, So there are bitter experiences also created. But overall, as an organization, we see the expertise of management and expertise of organization that is there in such a big organization is very not a, very, very less actually. People are not trained properly in organization and things like that, but still the organization is going on. So it's very, this one actually, because it's personally guided by the Lord. So how much ever mess is there, still this will work because of this presence of the Lord actually, personal presence of the Lord. So this will not happen if I start something new. This guarantee is not there over there. That's a problem. Okay. Any other?
There was one thing that was told to one devotee that you need not hear Prabhupada lectures because those are contextual. That was in the context of that time.
That time, okay. So, yeah, so like even in our this one also, if we see, there is we have the gradation of Prabhupada's Vani. So Prabhupada's books are considered to be absolute, and then next is lectures. Next is morning room conversations, then morning
walks and then room conversations.
Room conversations. Very informal, yeah, and contextual, more contextual. No, yeah.
And after that, letters.
After that, letters. That's more contextual like that. Yeah, so like this, the gradation is there. So why? Because of this contextual subject only. So books are absolute, and then lectures, even if it is contextual, in that particular context, how did Prabhupada react? That's a very powerful this one. Like we see that judgments passed on a particular case are contextual to that particular case, right? So, but in courts, like I've got very good experience in that. So in courts, like we sit with the lawyer also, like we have drafted many times many things. So how the drafting happens is, first is a particular point has to be defended. So we give a rule, from the law book. Law book is small, we give a rule from the law book. We have to quote, this according to this particular law, this is wrong or this is right, to establish our point. Then after that comes, this particular judge in this particular court, in this particular scenario, has pronounced a judgment, like enforcing this, and has pronounced a judgment like this, pronounced a judgment like this. So, like the problem statement is small, the rule is small, the tens of pages is only the contextual stuff, wherein I'm quoting, in this scenario it has happened, in this scenario it has happened, in this scenario it has happened. It's like a very, very powerful thing. Right? So contextual, okay, Acharya, what did he do in this context? Principle तो लिख दिया book में, तो ऐसा scenario हुआ तो क्या हुआ? तो वो भी दिए. That's a very powerful thing. So we have to read those things also. We have to hear those things also. Very essential. So this is one angle of this one. Another angle is, this is words of the pure devotee, that fourth canto. Where is that? This one. The words of the pure devotee touches the pollens, saffron particles, saffron dust particles at the lotus feet of the Lord. And when it enters into the ear, it purifies. Okay, the subject matter spoken may be contextual. The Vani is so pure, that is going to purify. That's another angle of arguing on this point.
I've heard some European devotees saying that some of the senior Prabhupada disciples who were from Europe, when Prabhupada went to Europe, they did not know English. So they did not understand anything what Prabhupada was saying. But used to still come and sit in the classes. One of them, at one of the time, I think one of the sannyasis said that Prabhupada, they are not understanding anything. Should we bring in translations? Prabhupada said, yes, bring in translation. But even if translation is not there, let them sit here and listen the sound vibration. That will help them. This is one statement made by one of the senior Prabhupada disciples.
Like you can make this also. Prabhupada telling in context of hearing his spiritual master.
Yes, Prabhupada telling in context of his spiritual master also, he did the same, because Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was a very, very profound scholar. He had at one time Prabhupada was telling that he gave lecture on the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for 35 days. It's obvious nobody can grasp that much. And Srila Prabhupada said that initially when I went to hear him, I understood nothing. But simply I used to sit and absorb the sound vibration. And that is what my spiritual master appreciated. That yes, he likes to hear. And so therefore his mercy flowed, and then he became very close to the spiritual master and understood the mode and mission of the spiritual master, which many of the so-called intimate disciples could not understand. So whether we understand or whether we don't understand, hearing the vibration is very important. Hare Krishna.
So this point is also very powerful actually. It is not just a concoction of Prabhupada, like it is confirmed by his spiritual master, who is also a eternal associate, and by his disciples also, like it is like confirmed. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says that because he heard, because his interest is there in hearing, he will do something. That's a very powerful this one, very, very powerful this one. So it is not about like, we understanding that this one or the subject matter and things like that. So that's there. no, more important than that is hearing is a seva, no, which is a service to the spiritual master, and by that, if we please the spiritual master, many things are going to happen.
This is also said that the Vani of the spiritual master is not different from the spiritual master. So there was one allegation. Why some devotees hear these lectures while passing stool?
Yeah, so there is, like, if we see the pure Vaishnavas, like Tulsi Maharani is non-different, no, from the personality Tulsi Devi. So why we are keeping her in the sun? We should keep her in nicely, like bedstead and. No, Kanti is supposed to be always in touch. Always in touch. Tulsi Maharani, okay, in that context. So, like, it's non-different while our subject is there, but there is a particular way in which everything is applied. The holy name is non-different from the Supreme Lord. The holy name is non-different from the deity. You cannot worship the deity in the toilet, but you can chant the names of the Lord in the toilet, right? So there is different, non-different wala principle. If you make it completely non-different, it becomes Mayavad. So non-different in terms of, like, it is exactly the Lord, but the Lord, I can access in different forms of the Lord, can be accessed in different ways, right? So deity I cannot remove from the altar. No, they have to be there only. I have to go there and serve. Holy name anywhere I can take. No, remembrance, no, like anytime I can do. No, and sound vibration anytime I can hear and things like that. So this particular thing, okay, holy name it is okay. About the lecture, so this at least I have verified with many senior devotees. So they have, in principle, at least this is existing. So because it is non-different, you cannot do it at all. So that it cannot be told, because holy name can be chanted. So that means, like, why lecture cannot be? Holy name is also non-different from Krishna. So then that also should not be chanted. So then, like, in the toilet you are contaminated. That means, like, nothing which is representing Krishna should be there. So that means that time no Rishikana Rishikesa Sevanam is there. So that time you have to be in Maya only, because you are passing stool. What is this logic? So this cannot be there.
So can we say that Archana Vidhi and Bhagavat Vidhi? So Bhagavat Vidhi can.
No, there are certain manifestations of Krishna. They are merciful. They are willing to be with you even at that point in time. Right? So, like, then somebody may tell that, remembrance of the Lord. Right? Like, while you're passing stool, you should not remember the Lord. Bhul jao, So, like that. So, that is not correct, no?
Remembrance is above both Archana and Remembrance is also not different.
Remembrance is there in the Archana Vidhi also.
It comes in both.
It comes in the both. So, like, then it can be performed there also. So, it's a very essential point.
Because this is something which was not there in Vedic time for recordings. It was always sitting and hearing. So, that might not be recorded also in the scripture, this particular thing. So we can.
See, this recording is like almost equivalent to Mananam, actually. Equivalent to Mananam. So that time the Mananam process is very powerful. Kaliyug mein, like, manda buddhi hai, like, usko mission chahiye kuch Mananam ke liye. Yes, bro, you're same thing.
Next step of Shravanam is Mananam. Mananam happens
It's just assisted Mananam. No, like that. Shravanam and assisted Mananam. Like that.
Also, Mahajano Yenagata. Many Prabhupada disciples.
Yeah. So they themselves are criticized. They are the ones who criticized, actually. But anyways. Like, means the people who are criticizing, they are criticizing them only. So that is why I am arguing on the principle level. And the previous Mahajans did not have recording. So, like that. Any other arguments were put? These are very essential to be clarified, So then we will have full confidence in performing devotional service properly. That's not proper. Not proper.
Many temples they do.
They do. That's not proper. So see, like that is no, they are not understanding that this one, or sometimes they may say like, no, all devotees here are no disciple of this spiritual master only. It is not because like one disciple spiritual master is there and like, or many disciples spiritual masters there. That's why we should not put. It's not because of that. It is because this organization is Prabhupada's organization. He is the spiritual master here. No, that is why we should worship. It's not because like anyway all are disciples of my spiritual master only here. I will directly put it in the altar. ऐसा नहीं है. So he is the spiritual master here. That's why we should do. So like that. In home altar they can put. Like home altar.
When there are Bhakti Vriksha leaders and others.
Then it is better that they should keep it separate like that. So like still like in home it is okay. No, in the home it is. I have to verify the principles. Generally, this is what I have seen. Even in IDC also it mentions like in home it can be there like that.
So home also the principle remains the same, where we take permission and then go ahead with the worship, right? Yes.
No, in home they can actually offer worship to the spiritual master. So because home is like it is what is that? It is not a like a direct ISKCON body over there. No, it isn't like people who are practicing the principles of ISKCON. I think in IDC it was clear that in the home we can worship the spiritual master directly like that.
No, separate worship, not separate. Yeah.
Not in the altar. Okay.
While not doing Aarti.
Anyway, while doing Aarti, you are offering only Mahaprasad, na? So in that way, like that is not happening. Aarti is always happen to the separate altar only.
In any ISKCON temple, worship of spiritual master is allowed only on
Vyas Puja.
Otherwise, all worship of spiritual masters on any other day has to happen outside.
Outside the temple. That's very clear.
Can happen in some house.
In some house, or even the temple, some other hall or somewhere, not in the main temple hall. Yes, Pooja.
This is why I heard and mentioned that in ISKCON, Bhubaneswar, Gaurav Swami Maharaj is also there.
So there are certain temples like that where some exalted personalities are recognized. Just like
That is only one.
there is one more also, like where in Jagannath Puri, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's deity is present. So Vrindavan Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur deity is present. So like that, there are some exceptions. No, that is not made like that.
That is understood because they are previous acharyas. Now we're talking about the current acharya.
Yeah, I don't know if it is the local devotees, they wanted to have it like that, or no. That time even our the principles were not documented, so clearly and stuff like that. So some worship has started, so they may have just left it like that. So otherwise, it is this is the principle. The acharya is like very very clear that Srila Prabhupada is this one. So even this is one very nice, this one from other sampradayas also we should learn, especially the Madhva Sampradaya, wherein many powerful acharyas had come. So like, but never a deity of theirs were kept on equivalent this one with Prabhupada, like their acharya like that. So that's always clear. Is clear. ठीक है, ओके. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्णा.